Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, no more NFL, unfortunately. All these videos get posted on this subreddit right here called DF Sports. And if you can talk strategy here, you can ask me questions, always respond to you, something to check out. If you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can do so on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. So, um, I'm really sick, guys. Just still pretty sick. I'm feeling a little bit better today, but definitely still sick. Feel pretty bad about not getting a video out to you guys for like 3 or 4 days straight. So I'm gonna try and pump this video out pretty quickly here. Got a big slate. Not gonna go too into detail. But I think this was the other day NBA. I forget which day. It was a bad day, but showing you my lineups because I always show you guys my results. I'm always transparent with you guys. I think this was 3 days ago. Cashed pretty decently here. And NFL tonight, very, very good night in NFL. And I'm an Eagles fan, so you guys know that. So, really painful night on top of being sick, on top of being in the hospital a few days ago, getting MRIs, getting CAT scans, stuff like that. Really didn't want to make a video, but I'm going to do it, like I said, because it just feels wrong not to do it. So I'm going to make this a pretty quick one. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow, if I'll be able to respond to you guys on the subreddit with questions and stuff like that. But I'm going to make this quick. So Trey at the top, I think is an okay GPP play. It's a pace of spot, good matchup against Charlotte. I do prefer him to DeJounte Murray. I think Clint Capella is a pretty good play. 5.9K seems a little bit too cheap given the matchup against Mark Williams. Probably plays around 30 minutes, so I like Capella quite a bit. Bay, no. Collins, excuse me. Collins, if he's out, we'll just have to monitor what they do with the starting lineup. They could go like Jalen Johnson. I know in the past they've gone smaller and started AJ Griffin. I mean, we'll see. Whoever starts, playable. Bog is questionable, but I don't really think that changes much for me. It's really for me on the Atlanta side, Trae Young and Clint Capella. I think Clint Capella is definitely my favorite play. Going over Charlotte, so I like the spot for LaMelo. Not individually, but the pace of this game I think is going to be really good. I assume DeJounte Murray is going to be on him. Pretty good defender. So just a tournament only play at 10-4, but does have that upside. It has triple-double upside as well. So I always like Trae Young for GPPs. Terry Rozier is fine contrarian play. Mason Plumlee, been pretty consistent with no... PJ Washington, been pretty consistent with no Mason Plumlee. I wouldn't hate you for it if you want to go there, but I think he's still priced about right. I think Gordon Hayward's a pretty solid value. No Jalen McDaniels or whatever. I'm pretty sure they got rid of McDaniels. Yeah, no McDaniels. So Gordon Hayward's going to play all the minutes he can handle. So 4.9K does seem a bit too cheap for Hayward. So I do like Hayward for value. And I think Mark Williams, once again, makes for one of the best value plays on the slate. Bit of a better matchup here instead of Nikola Jokic, good point per minute guy, probably plays around 30 minutes if he can stay out of foul trouble. He looks phenomenal for value, assuming he continues to start. He's going to be massive chalk too. So if you want to go to Nick Richards and hope Mark Williams gets into foul trouble like he did last game, I wouldn't hate you for it. Decent leverage spot, but yeah, Mark Williams looks phenomenal for value. Let's go over the Spurs. So we have Keldon probable. We have Sochan probable. There's not much here. Like, Keldon's going to lead the way offensively, but it's a terrible matchup. So don't like Keldon. Don't like Sochan. Don't like Branham. I think Zach Collins, once again, makes for a really good value play. Good point per minute guy. Really tough spot up against Cleveland, though. But he's just way too cheap still, even in this matchup. So Zach Collins looks great. Graham, I don't think we need to go there on the slate, but he'll probably play like 18 to 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more fine play, but don't think we need to go there. Really only mainly looking to Keldon and Zach Collins on these Spurs. Really good spot here. So I like Mitchell at 8.7K. I still think he should be above 9K or like at 9K. Now you have a really good spot up against the Spurs, and it's a pace-up spot. And they're running a really tight rotation. So I like Mitchell for GPPs. I'd much rather play Mitchell over Garland. The bigs, they're just there. Seem like safe plays to me at their respective prices. And I'm not going to go to anyone else. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm going to make this video pretty quick. Utah, there's basically nothing outside of Colin Sexton. So with no Mike Conley, Colin Sexton's going to be their starting point guard. He's going to play huge minutes. Good point per minute guy. He's still way too cheap. I think he makes for a very good play. I think Walker Kessler in a good spot up against Indiana makes for a decent contrarian play at center. So I like Kessler for GPPs. Clarkson, no. THT gained minutes from Colin Sexton foul trouble. So he's still playable, but I think he's going to be way overowned, and you have to look at why he benefited. He benefited with Colin Sexton foul trouble. So, well, I think THT is playable. Don't expect 27 minutes again. Don't expect 40 fantasy points. And if he's going to be overowned, that's the easiest fade I've ever seen in my entire life. So, THT is just, it's going to be an ownership thing for me. Have to look at the facts. Colin Sexton fouled out, lost huge minutes due to foul trouble. THT was the one to benefit from it. So just look at the research here. Still fine value though. Kyle Olynyk just there for me, and I'm not going to go to anyone else. Pacers, Halliburton, Turner questionable. If they're both in, I think Halliburton's okay. Pretty good spot going up against Utah though. Turner, I would like quite a bit at 7.3K. Utah has been absolutely atrocious against opposing bigs, and as long as this game stays close, he'll play over 30 minutes. So I like Turner quite a bit. Everyone else I'm just crossing off basically. But if Halliburton and Turner are out, then you're probably going to get TJ McConnell starting at the point. He would be one of the better plays on the slate at 5K. Andrew Nemhard would be a solid value at 3.7K. Whoever starts at the 5, whether that's Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson would be a really good play. So keep an eye on the Halliburton news. Keep an eye on that Turner news. On to Houston. This team's just a cross-off for me. I don't play centers against Embiid. Kevin Porter Jr. could be back. It's a really sloggy game, so not going anyone on Houston. On the Philly side, I really like Embiid even at this price tag going up against Houston. It's just such a good spot. I don't think Sengun's going to be able to do anything to stop him here. He's playing huge minutes right now, so I think Embiid looks pretty good to me for GPPs. I don't even hate Harden. I wished he was a little bit cheaper, but I think he's fine. I think it's a really good spot for him as well. If you want to take a shot on like Harris and Maxey at their respective prices, go for it. But mainly looking to Harden and Embiid at the top here. Fully expecting Embiid to play as well. Denver, so really tough spot here. Not much. Jokic in play. Not my favorite spend up on the slate. Much rather play Embiid in a better spot. Murray, Gordon seem priced about right. MPJ I think is overpriced. Bruce Brown would be out of play if those two are back. So not much if those two are in. If those two are out, then Jokic is still fine. MPJ gets a boost, but I think he'd still be priced about right. The main beneficiary of that would be Bruce Brown at 5.3K, who will play over 30 minutes, start at the point. I think would be a solid play. And then Kankar, I think, would start and would be a playable value. But I don't think we would have to go there on this slate. Did see a big game from Braun off the bench, but that was a complete outlier in my opinion. So yeah, monitor that Murray news on Miami. So we have Bam probable, we have Tyler Hero questionable, Gabe probable, Strus probable. Everyone's probable outside of Tyler Hero. So not much here if everyone's in. Like Bam, I think is overpriced going up against Jokic. Butler's been terrible, tough matchup as well. Tyler Hero I think is overpriced. Not overpriced, but priced about right. Gabe Vincent, I think, will have much better value. Max Strus, no. So, yeah, not much here on Miami. But if Tyler Hero is out, that does change some things. Then I think Bam's in play. Then I think Butler will just look better at 8.5K. I think Gabe Vincent would look a lot better. He would have to do a lot more ball handling. He would have to play a lot more minutes. He would have a higher usage rate as well. I think he would be a pretty good play. Whoever they start for Tyler Hero, I mean, I would assume it would be Max Strus at 3.8K. He would be a solid value as well. So definitely keep an eye on that Tyler Hero news. Definitely could change some things here for Miami. On to Brooklyn, I'm just crossing off this team. Dinwiddie seems priced about right. Cam Thomas, don't play him. His role is basically diminished now with everyone here. Claxton, he'll play huge minutes as long as he stays out of foul trouble and the game is close. Prices come down. I think my favorite play is going to be Claxton on this team, but it's a tough spot for bigs. Bridges, now that he's not playing alongside Booker and Chris Paul, I don't mind it. I think him, Dinwiddie will kind of lead this offense. Don't hate a flyer on Bridges. Ben Simmons losing minutes of late. Dorian Finney-Smith, no. Cam Johnson, I think, is okay, but once again, would you rather play him over like Zach Collins, Mark Williams? Would you rather play him over Colin Sexton, TJ McConnell, guys like that? I don't think so, but fine is like a last man in type deal. All right, let's move over to the next. So it's a good spot, or actually, have to consider that with the whole team changing. Now they actually have good defenders. They have Dorian Finney-Smith. They have Mikal Britton. So actually, I don't think it's a good spot at all. So Randall Brunson, RJ, just not for me, honestly. Josh Hart, no thank you. So next, easy team to talk about. Basically don't have interest in anyone. On Orlando, so okay spot here. Banchero, no. Franz, no. Fultz, no. I think Wadakar Jr. is probably my favorite play. Should play around 30 minutes as long as this game stays close. Not scared of Vooch defensively. So I think Wadakar Jr. is interesting. We do have Gary Harris back. So Jalen Suggs will go back to the bench. Probably plays mid-20s minutes off the bench. I think he's an okay value. But yeah, not too much on Orlando. Let's go to Chicago. Same kind of deal here. Tough spot for Vooch. Orlando's been good against big, so no interest in that price. Levine, DeRozan, definitely prefer over Vooch. I think DeRozan's probably my favorite. Been really, really bad of late, but yeah, they're just hard to gauge. If I was playing 150 lineups, I'd sprinkle in some, but hard for me in my one lineup to go there. The guards, we don't have to go there on this slate. So let's move over to the Pelicans. So we have CJ questionable. Dyson Daniels, I think he'll be out. Yeah, he'll be out. So Ingram, I still think is a pretty good play, even at this price tag. He's just playing massive, massive minutes right now. He has the highest usage rate on this team with Zion out. So I think Ingram looks like a pretty good mid-range play. Also has that shooting guard eligibility. CJ, no, would much rather go to Ingram. Really, really good spot for Jonas Valanciunas here. But minutes up in the air. Like, if I knew Jonas was going to play around 25 to 30 minutes tomorrow, I would like him at this price tag. We'll see, though. But if he gets, like, upwards of 30 minutes, he's going to absolutely break the slate. So I always like Jonas Valanciunas for GPPs just for that reason, especially in really good matchups. And then if CJ, I wouldn't go to anyone else, though. But if CJ McCollum's out, then Ingram becomes one of the best plays on the slate, in my opinion, at 7.8K. They might have to play JaVale more, but I'm more interested in him. Jose Alvarado probably starts at the point. He would be a really freaking good value play at 3.2K. You might see more minutes for, I don't know, might just see huge minutes for like just Ingram and Alvarado, to be honest. Larry Nance, I think, is still priced about right. So, yeah. Mainly Ingram, mainly Alvarado, and Jonas Valanciunas if CJ McCollum's out. SGA is now at a price point to where I think it's kind of hard for me to go to him, but he still does have this upside. Pelicans, okay defense, so no real strong takes on SGA. Kind of the same with Giddey. Priced about right. Doesn't really have a ceiling in my opinion. Jalen, no. Trying to figure out what they're going to do with starting lineups and the bench. Just unbelievably hard. So, going to be a no for me outside of anyone but SGA on OKC. On to Minnesota. So, it's a really good spot up against Dallas. You have to think. They lost Dorian Finney-Smith. They're a clear defender. They picked up Kyrie Irving. Wow. Cool, man. So, I think it's a much better spot now than people think it is. So, it's a good spot. I think Ant's fine contrarian play. I really, really like Rudy Gobert if he plays. He's been out for, I want to say, 1 or 2 games. I'm not entirely sure. But if he plays, I do like Rudy Gobert a lot at this price tag. Mike Conley, no. Kyle Anderson, no. Anyone else, no. But if Rudy's out, you guys know what to do. Like, Ant's going to be the clear number 1. Still fine. Don't love the price. Naz Reid becomes one of the best plays on the slate at 4.4K. I would really like Naz Reid. And then Kyle Anderson at 4.8K would definitely get a boost, and he would be in play at that price tag. And then Taurean Prince would be a viable value. And that'll do it for Minnesota. Let's go to Dallas, and this team's just hard to get to right now with Kyrie Irving. I would argue Luka's probably around, like, I don't know, 10K player with Kyrie on this team. Hard to really see until we get more of a sample, but With Kyrie taking a lot of usage, it's really, really hard for me to pay that price for Luka. Kind of the same thing here with Luka taking a ton of usage away from Kyrie. It's hard for me to pay that price for Kyrie. So this team's just a cross-out for me. Josh Green, he'll play a ton of minutes, but once again, would you rather play Josh Green over Zach Collins, Colin Sexton? No, I would even rank Cam Johnson ahead of Josh Green. So not much on Dallas. Last two games here, guys. Washington, we have Kyle Kuzma listed as questionable. Not much, but it's a good spot. Like, if everyone's in, I'm just crossing off this team. But if Kuzma's out, yeah, you can consider Porzingis. But Porzingis is a guy I like to play when he's in that, like, 8.8 to 9K range. Now he's almost getting up to 10K. So, still don't love it. Bradley Beal at 7'4", 7'6" has been actually very, very good of late. I think he might be finding his stride here. So I don't even hate Beal, even if Kuzma's in or out. I think it just helps him if Kuzma's out. Denny, overpriced in my opinion. If Kuzma's out, you can consider it, but I still would argue he's overpriced. And I think that will do it. Let's move on to Golden State. So Steph going to continue to be out. Biggest beneficiaries of that going to be Clay, going to be Jordan Poole. I still think Jordan Poole makes for a very, very good play at this price tag. Still too cheap, in my opinion, but no Steph. Klay Thompson going to shoot the ball, basically a black hole. So, like Clay, like Poole, I definitely do prefer Poole to Clay. Draymond at that price tag, no thank you. Wiggins, no thank you. If Wiggins is out, then it's going to be minutes bumps to guys like Dante DiVincenzo. Maybe Jonathan Kuminga plays a bit more, but have interest in those guys. We'll just have to wait and see what the starting lineup would be if he is out. On to the Lakers. So LeBron questionable. He's missed the past few games. If he's in, don't like much. Think it's a really good spot for Anthony Davis. Would really only have interest in AD if LeBron's in. If LeBron is out, then I like AD as a contrarian sped up. I know he's been really, really bad of late, but his usage just goes way, way up with no LeBron. So, like AD as a contrarian sped up if LeBron's out. D'Lo, if you want to take shots on him, go for it, but I would only do it if LeBron's out. Schroeder with D'Lo in this offense. I know he had a good game last game, but nah. Rui, no. Beasley, Vanderbilt barely played. Hard for me to go to either of them. And just really hard to go to anyone else. To go over to Portland. So, Dame, I'm perfectly fine paying this price tag for still. With how good he's been. With how well he's been facilitating. Now you have one of the best matchups in the league. 4-point guard. So, I think Dame looks like a pretty good spend up. Jeremy Grant's completely taken a backseat to Damian Lillard of late, so I'm not going to pay 7K for Jeremy Grant. Simon's kind of the same thing there, but no Nurk. Eubanks, Watford, they'll split the center minutes. Watford is okay. Whatever that means. Playable values, prefer Drew to Watford. And then if Jeremy Grant's out, Nasir Little would be playable at 3.3K. So sorry for the short video, guys. I hope you guys had a good night tonight, and hopefully I'll be feeling better tomorrow.